Hi, everyone. I hope you've had a great week. This week, we're going to talk about lessons 121 to 124. So let's get started. This week, you're going to need your lessons manual, the student worksheet book, the math card games manual with the game cards. You'll need the T-square. You will need tape. That is not included in your Right Start Math materials. You will need a drawing board. You will need a sharp pencil, preferably a mechanical pencil if you have one. Again, that is not included in the Right Start Math materials. You will need the 30-60 triangle, and you will also need colored pencils or markers, and those are also not included in the Right Start Math materials. Now, this is the final stretch of new lessons that have new material that's covered. For these lessons, including the 4 that we're going to be covering this week, we're going to be learning and working on different elements of geometry. Now, lessons 121 and 122, you will see in the title, it says review lesson 121 and review lesson 122. These review lessons are designed for students who have never used Right Start Math before and have had no experience using the drawing tools. Now, even if your child has used Right Start Math before, these lessons are fun, so you might as well go ahead and do them. It's a great way to review the material. However, for the student who really knows how to use the drawing tools and you are running behind, these 2 lessons can be skipped. All right, well, go ahead and start by turning to lesson 121. The warm-up is going to have you ask your child to calculate fractions of various dollar amounts and multiply different coin values. Now look at the section called preparation. In this section, you are going to need to tape the paper onto the drawing board. So let me show you how that is to be done. So here is how you tape the worksheet onto the drawing board. Now, here is the worksheet we're going to attach. I always like to have my pieces of tape ready to go. The best type of tape to use is removable tape, because as you can see, if you don't, you have all of these extra residues that doesn't come off. Plus, with the reusable tape, you can obviously reuse it over and over again. I do not have reusable tape, so I'm going to be using regular tape, and I will give you a trick for that as well if you do not have removable tape. The next thing you're going to need is the T-square. Now with the T-square, you're going to line it up here on the edge. So there are 2 ways. There's, this way, if you have it upside down, it's not going to grasp a hold of that edge of the drawing board. So make sure you flip it around so that it does grasp that edge. And then you're going to slide it up. And we're going to use these lines right here to make sure that we are straight as possible. So I'm going to pull that down just a little bit, and I'm going to work on this to get this as horizontal as possible. Now, once you get that in place, go ahead and put your pieces of tape. If you have non-reusable tape, a trick is make sure you have a piece of that over top of the edge. It makes it much easier to remove. So that's just a little trick I've learned over the years. Now my kids like to also tape the bottom part of the piece of paper. The instructions do not say that, but if you do find difficulties with that, you can also tape the bottom part of the worksheet as well. Now in the section called Introducing the Drawing Tools, you're going to show your child the T-square, and that's what this is right here. This here is the T-square. And then you're going to give your child worksheet 98, and they're going to use the T-square and the drawing board on the worksheet, or the worksheet on the drawing board, to draw horizontal lines. So let me show you how that's going to look. For worksheet 98, we are going to be drawing horizontal lines. So to do that, we're going to again line up our T-square so it grabs the edge of the board. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to want my T-square to grab a hold of my left side of the board. But if you are left-handed or your child is left-handed, put the T-square on this side so it grabs the other side. All right, so just line that up, and we're just going to line up where we're going to draw the line. Mechanical pencils are best because it makes a really nice fine line. By the way, you can erase anything. So if your child goes over, makes their line too long, that is just fine. In fact, it's more than acceptable in geometry, and you will find that they will eventually have to draw lines and then erase sections of that line, and that is perfectly fine. So when you're drawing a line, you're going to put your pencil where it starts, slide up the T-square, and draw the line over. And we're going to do that several different times. You can go from right to left or left to right. So here's from right to left. One thing to note, as you're drawing, make sure this T-square is always flush against this drawing board. And there you go. In the section called Polygons and Diagonals, you're going to ask questions about polygons and discuss different types of shapes that's shown on the bottom of worksheet number 98. Your child is then going to complete worksheet 98 by drawing different horizontal lines and marking the fractions as instructed on the worksheet. The solutions are included in the lesson manual, of course. The math card game listed for this lesson is called Change from a Dollar. It's a Change from a Dollar game. There is not a blog for this game. Also, if your child is still learning their multiplication math facts, make sure you're playing multiplication math card games every single day. All right, well, let's go ahead and turn to lesson 122. Now, for the warm-up of this lesson, you are going to review money, polygons, and lines. Now look at the section called Drawing Vertical Lines. In this section, you're going to introduce your child to the 30-60 triangle. Now, your kit comes with two different triangles. So let me tell you a little bit about the difference of the two. This triangle here has equal angles. These are called 45 angles. So this one's a 45 angle, this one's a 45 angle. This, of course, is the 90-degree angle. We call this triangle the 45 triangle. Now, the triangle you're going to need for this lesson is the 30-60 angle, or 30-60 triangle. And why it's called 30-60, you probably guess. This angle is 30 degrees, this angle is 60 degrees. So this one is called the 30-60 triangle. Now for worksheet 99, you're going to use the T-square and the 30-60 triangle to draw vertical lines on worksheet 99. So let me show you how that will work. So for this worksheet, we're going to do a couple things. First of all, we're going to draw vertical lines. Now this one's a little bit trickier. We're going to line up the T-square again on the edge of the drawing board. On the left or the right. We are not going to draw vertical lines by using the T-square this way. We are going to use the T-square combined with the 30-60 triangle. Now what we're going to do is make sure this is again flush with the drawing board, and then we're going to place the flat side or this side of the 30-60 triangle on that T-square. And then we're going to go to these lines or these dots, and we're going to draw our lines. And this is how you properly draw vertical lines. Once your child completes drawing those vertical lines, you're going to review the difference between horizontal lines and vertical lines, and you will also talk about diagonal lines. In the section called Drawing 60-degree Angles, your child is going to use the 60-degree angle on their T-square, on their 30-60 triangle to draw the 60-degree angles on worksheet 99. So let me show you how that's going to work. Now here's how you use the 30-60 triangle drawing the 60-degree angle. So again, have your T-square flush up against the edge of the drawing board, and we are going to pull that down a bit from the shape that we're going to be drawing the 30-60 triangle off of, or the 60-degree angle off of, so that we have room to work. Now we're going to slide the 60-degree angle, that's going to be on the bottom along with the 90-degree. That's going to be on the bottom, and then we're going to slide it so it's going to land right on that corner, and then we're just simply going to draw that line up. Now we can flip the 30-60 triangle over, so that we're just going to line it up on this side and then draw this line. Then in the section called drawing the 30-degree lines, your child is going to use the 30-degree angle, this angle, to draw other diagonals on their shape. So let me show you how that's going to be done. To draw the 30-degree angle lines, it's very similar to what we just did, except we're going to put the 30-degree angle on our T-square. Again, make sure our T-square is flush up against that drawing board. Slide our triangle over, line up our lines, and simply draw. Again, flipping it over as needed. And that's how you draw 30-degree lines. Your child will then complete worksheet 99 on their own if they can. The solutions are listed in the lesson manual. Now, there is not a math card game listed for this lesson, so make sure you play a game. If your child is still working on their multiplication math facts, you definitely want to continue playing multiplication math card games. Well, let's go ahead and turn to lesson 123. The warm-up section is going to have you ask your child questions about different lines and different shapes. Then you're going to work together throughout lesson 100, drawing different shapes using the drawing tools T-square and the 30-60 triangle. If you have any difficulties with figuring this out, feel free to give us a call or email us. We're definitely here to help you on this. Now, there are a couple terms that are listed in this lesson that you're going to review with your child. If you look at the top of the second page of the lesson, you're going to review the term equilateral triangle and also review the term obtuse triangle. Now, if your child does not remember what those are, have them look it up in the math dictionary. But just so you know what they are, an equilateral triangle, that word equilateral can be split up into two different sections. Equa, which means equal, right? Equal. And lateral means line. So equilateral means equal lines. So an equilateral triangle is a triangle where all three lines are equal. Now, in an obtuse triangle, that means that one of the angles is an obtuse angle. And an obtuse angle is an angle that's larger than 90 degrees. So here is a 90-degree angle. I don't know if you can see that. 90-degree angle. An obtuse angle would be larger than that. Okay. You will also introduce to your child two new terms. If you look under the section called Shape 5, you're going to introduce the term rhombus. And under Shape 6, you're going to introduce the term trapezoid. Again, have your child look up these shapes or these terms in their math dictionary or online if you prefer. I always like to think of a rhombus as kind of like a squished square, so it kind of leans a little bit. But with the rhombus, all four sides are still equal. They just don't have the 90-degree angles. You may actually want to have your child draw several different rhombuses and several different trapezoids to kind of solidify those terms in their mind. You will then have your child complete worksheet 100 on their own if they can. The math card game for this lesson is Short Chain Solitaire game, which you've played before in lesson 100. There's also a blog for this game, so you can review that blog to remind yourself how to play the game since it's been a little bit. Again, if your child is still working on their multiplication math facts, play a multiplication math card game as well. All right, but let's go ahead and turn to lesson 124. If your lesson manual was written or printed in 2020 or before, there is a correction for this lesson. So make sure you make the changes to this lesson prior to teaching it. The warm-up of this lesson is going to have you review with your child lines, and then you're going to ask questions about the drawing tools and how to draw shapes. You will then give your child worksheet 101 and have them draw various lines and shapes as instructed on the lesson or on the worksheet. The solutions are included in the lesson manual, as well as some tricks on how to do some of them. This lesson is actually going to teach your child also, if you look at the bottom of the first page of the lesson, it's actually going to teach your child about diameter, which is a line that goes through a circle from one end of the circle to the other, going through that center point of the circle. Again, if you have any questions about how to draw any of these shapes, just give us a call or email us. Now, there is not a math card game listed for this lesson, so make sure you pick a game that is keeping up your child's math facts. And as always, if your child is still working on their multiplication math facts, make sure you're playing a multiplication math card game as well. That's it for the week. If you have any questions or concerns about a lesson, or if your child is struggling with something, give us a call or email us. We are here to help you. I look forward to seeing you next week as we cover lessons 125 to 128. Have a great week, everybody.